Hey everyone, thanks for clicking on this video. I'm Kill, and today we're going to be diving into a full 100% review of Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero on the PS5. In this review, we'll be breaking down every aspect of the game, story mode, gameplay mechanics, the roster, how hard it is to earn the Platinum Trophy. I'll discuss whether the 100% completion is even rewarding, or is it just tedious. If this latest installment lives up to the expectations of longtime fans and newcomers alike. So yeah, let's power up, grab your senzu beans, and let's find out if Sparking Zero is truly the ultimate Dragon Ball experience. Just to give a quick context, Sparking Zero was released on October 11th, 2024. I've been playing it non-stop pretty much since then. This is going to be a comprehensive review as much as possible. Dragon Ball Z has been a huge part of my life for as long as I can remember, whether it's the anime, Dragon Ball Super, the movies, or the games. I've experienced it all. With that said, you can trust this review comes from someone deeply familiar with the franchise, and I'll try to be unbiased as possible. Of course, I'll do my best to remain as critical and unbiased as possible, delivering a fair and honest evaluation of the game. For reference, my review scale will rate the game on a scale of 1 to 10, with 5 being average, 10 being perfect, and 1 being downright awful. So let's dive in. So let's get into the first section I want to talk about, which is the game modes. The major game mode here is Episode Battle, which is Dragon Ball Sparking Zero's story mode. It contains campaigns for Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo, Future Trunks, Frieza, Goku Black, and Jiren, with pretty much storylines from Dragon Ball Z to the end of Super. You got this map-based progression for the story where they have different what-ifs that you can, see different story threads and all of that. I think the map here I thought was pretty nice and clean for the most part. I thought it was a kind of like a callback to the original Budokai 2, which had kind of like a similar map like this. It was more of like a chessboard kind of, or like an actual like game board where I think other players were moving on it, and then you're kind of getting to the end or something with Goku. So I thought it was a good callback. One of the biggest disappointments I thought for this game was the what if scenarios. While the concept is great, it failed to deliver impactful moments, especially like this kind of moment here where you got Goku turning into Super Saiyan on Earth because Vegeta kills Krillin, which would have been awesome, but I think they kind of just under-delivered here. Like on paper this moment sounds awesome and like this scene's kind of cool right here, but it should be a little bit more impactful because going Super Saiyan was like huge in the series. So what I thought they could have done here was maybe like kind of take a note from the Ninja Storm games, where if you played any of those story modes, like the fights are really like cool on screen. You got some quick time events, make it very beautiful, make it look awesome. They try to nod to the anime and all that. So I think if they would have got some of the developers from the Ninja Storm games and kind of applied some of those concepts into this campaign, I think they would have hit a home run with this. But I just felt like it just fell short with these what ifs, and there wasn't really too many memorable ones. This one obviously was probably my most memorable one, but this was like something I knew was in the game beforehand. I was expecting this, so yeah, I wasn't really all too impressed with the what ifs. Also, additionally, the absence of any kind of Dragon Ball, like original Dragon Ball campaign and the GT sagas, as well as even the movie arcs, makes the story mode feel incomplete. I think expanding the campaign to include those would have greatly enhanced the experience big time. But this is kind of another one where after Goku goes Super Saiyan on Earth, Vegeta goes to Namek and he turns Super Saiyan. So it's like cool on paper, but it just didn't deliver. And I thought it kind of fell short of some really good potential epic moments. Other game modes we got here is custom battles. It lets you create missions for others to play, but the pre-made ones felt lackluster and didn't really add much replay value. These were just kind of meh. Like I said again, I don't recall really any that kind of got my attention. These were just kind of little challenges. You're facing this character with this character, no real dialogue. It's kind of just little subtitles or whatever, so it wasn't really fleshed out as it could have been. But then also, players can actually make their own. I didn't really look into this. I wasn't really too impressed with this game mode, so this is kind of a good pass to me. I didn't really get much time from this game mode. Then you got your standard battle mode. Includes standard versus matches against AI, local players, which, let me preface that, I didn't really do that ever, but I did hear you can only do one map, which in 2024, close to 2025, only being able to play split screen with one map is a little ridiculous. So yeah, but most people play online nowadays, so it's not really too big of a concern. The online, I only grinded out for the trophy, the 100 matches. Meh, I didn't really think it was fun or competitive. I just thought it was kind of repetitive and kind of, you know, once you play a couple matches, you kind of already have seen everything. Nothing really new in the battle scene. Based on the game modes, I'd say it's just pretty generic. Nothing really special here. The what ifs was the main selling point of the game, and I feel like that was really under-delivered. And all the other game modes are just kind of standard. You just got your normal battle mode, tournament mode, and training, and split screen mode, which only has one map. So let's talk about the overall gameplay, graphics, and just overall how the game actually plays. Like I said, this is based on the old Tenkaichi games, so these are, yeah, if you played one before, you're kind of probably going to familiarize yourself real quick. You know, it's really flashy. I do like the moves and all of that, but it gets kind of old because all the moves are always the same. There's no different camera angles when you do a special move. There's no different, there should be different like interactions when you're doing beam struggles and all sorts of stuff. And yeah, speaking of beam struggles, I only did like maybe one or two throughout my whole playthrough. It's really rare for that to happen, and so it's really just a lot of dodging. You know, that's how the online was. You're just disappearing, dodging. So I didn't really find that all too fun. It gets pretty repetitive real quick. It's cool to see the other characters in terms of like seeing their specials and see their moves, but as I said earlier, once you know how to play with one character, you know how to play with all of them. So for me, this kind of lacks like the complexity of like a competitive fighter, like Fighter Z, a good comparison. They're both Dragon Ball games. And, you know, the combat initially feels exciting in this game, thanks to, you know, all the flashy moves, the cinematic sparking mode, but it quickly becomes repetitive. So if you're someone that gets bored of things really quick, you might find this game pretty boring once you play 10 matches or so, and I don't blame you. I love Dragon Ball Z, so I was going to play this until I platinumed it regardless, so yeah, I was able to find fun in it for the most part, but I feel like I didn't get the same fun I had back when I played the original Tenkaichi games, which I think is a shame. You know, I don't know what was missing here. I don't know if it was the nostalgia factor, you know, just hitting on all the cylinders in those old games. But yeah, overall I think like the gameplay, the core gameplay is just average. It's nothing really spectacular, but it's not terrible. So let's talk about the strongest aspect in this game, which I believe is the character roster. It's one of the strongest features with almost every fan favorite from the Dragon Ball Z and Super series as well as GT. With over 180 characters, I think most fans will be satisfied with the roster that's at release. However, I think there are key misses here, like the Dragon from GT, Super 17, Champa, you know, not having enough Dragon Ball representation. That was a little disappointing, but those are just nitpicks from me. I mean, other than that, you really get every character for the most part, from Z, Super, and GT that you would want to play as. So there's really no major characters that got left out. They're just nitpicks, and I think that really, they hit a home run with that part. But as I said earlier, if you know how to play as one character, you pretty much know how to play as all of them. There really isn't much different other than the moves. The moves looking different. The inputs are the same and all that, and even the customization was kind of bland. Like, I feel like, you know, you just get to select the outfits that they want to show. It would have been cool if they at least like let you change the colors, customize them, maybe have, you know, little accessories you can put on your characters and whatnot. That would have been like a nice little touch if you ask me. So yeah, character variety was definitely a plus. And while I'm on character variety, I think the stage variety is lacking. There's only like 13 stages, and you're telling me in the Dragon Ball game you're missing Kami's Lookout and Kami House, which are literally the two most iconic locations I believe that are from the Dragon Ball series. At least Kami's Lookout. If you gave anybody, made anyone look at a picture of Kami's Lookout, they would know it's from Dragon Ball Z. So yeah, not having that in the map was very disappointing. Not having like a clean version of the Tournament of Power, I thought was kind of messed up. I mean, you could play on it in like the story mode, but you can't play it in versus mode. So I didn't really understand that at all. And then since they had the movie characters in this, you would think they'd have the movie stages. We don't have Hell from the Janemba movie. We don't have Beerus's planet. We don't have Broly's planet. We don't even have like the Bojack stage. So like, those would have been nice touches, little Easter eggs or whatever you want to call it. Those would have been awesome to have and just make it more of a complete Dragon Ball experience. So yeah, I thought the stage variety was very lacking, but the character variety was spot on. So that's a plus for there, but the minus for stage variety. So graphically, the game looks amazing. I mean, you can't really miss out on the anime aesthetic for Dragon Ball. The art style's already there. You just gotta implement it into 3D, and everything was all flashy and nice looking, and I really appreciated all that. So yeah, for the most part, it's a good looking game for an anime game. So the trophy journey for this game, I got the Platinum Trophy not too long ago as part of this 100% completion review. I found earning all the trophies relatively easy. Most of them playing through the various modes, particularly the story mode, and unlocking all the what-if scenarios, which that did take some time just because a lot of the requirements to get the sparking mission is to like beat the opponent fast, and that wasn't really, it wasn't really specific enough to where like how fast you gotta beat them in, and there's some difficulty spikes out of nowhere, and it would get kind of frustrating if you're trying to go for those. So I think they should have made this a little bit more accessible and better objectives and better opportunities to get a what if story. The toughest trophy, I think that's going to be hard, especially later down the road, is completing the 100 online matches. I kind of got lucky. One day I just played only online matches, just kept playing until I got the trophy. I didn't really enjoy this all too much. I mean, the connection was fine and everything, but gameplay wise, it's just not a competitive fighter to me. So it's not really, it wasn't really fun to me. So I wasn't having fun on the online mode. I had way more fun in the story mode and, just the tournament mode, just kind of standard matches. Difficulty wise, I'd rate the trophy grind a 2 out of 10, but this can increase if the online player's base declines, making the 100 match requirement harder to complete. So yeah, overall, if you're looking to get a 100% another trophy or a platinum, yeah, it's definitely a good game to do it in. I did it in less than, I don't really get to play every single day, so probably did this less than under a month. So, and that's not like straight playing, it's playing when I get to have time too. So yeah, the trophy grind wasn't too bad here. So my final thoughts after completing the 100% of this game, I don't see much reason for me to actually return to Sparking Zero unless future DLC adds compelling content. I'd rather go back to like Fighter Z, or even go check out a Xenoverse 2 again, or even the older Budokai games, which, that was the main kind of like reason why people bought this game, was because of the nostalgia. This is Budokai 4, but I feel like they under-delivered if you want to give, high expectations for this game. Overall, I feel like Sparking Zero under-delivered. While the graphics and expanding roster are impressive, the game doesn't live up to its predecessors in terms of depth, innovation, or storytelling. As a longtime Dragon Ball fan, I was excited about this release, but it ultimately fell short in my expectations, and, I think that's kind of sad. I think this should have been, maybe delayed further, give it a little bit more love, attention to detail, because if you're going to make a casual game, you want to get all the details right, and you want to make sure this is a complete Dragon Ball game and a complete Dragon Ball experience for whether it's longtime fans or even like newcomers coming into the series. You want to tell the whole story of Dragon Ball at least, and it should be a love letter to Dragon Ball, which I don't really think I think this kind of feels like more like a cash grab in a way. It wasn't really, there's some things they did good on, but then some things they didn't do good on, and I feel like they under-delivered in a lot of areas. So my final score for this is going to be a 4 out of 10. Sparking Zero is below average entry, especially for a Dragon Ball game. I might get a lot of heat for that, but I'm honest with my opinion. I think this is a below average game. I don't think it's quite average. I think it's a little bit below average, especially for my own expectations for this game. I felt like they didn't deliver. Like they, obviously they delivered a nice looking Dragon Ball game, but I don't think it's gameplay or story mode warrant a high score. So that's why I think it's a little bit below average, just based on my expectations. I think a game like Fighter Z is way more polished and way more engaging and a lot better of an experience. I think the story modes kind of both lack in both those games, but for the most part, the combat, I would go back to Fighter Z and I could play that online, computer, whatever it is, and I get a lot of fun from that. So I'd say while this game might be worth picking up for casual fun, the $70 price tag doesn't feel steep enough. It's too steep for what this game actually offers. So hopefully, they did go with sales on this game, so hopefully the next entry, if they go with the next entry, it's a little bit more love, a little bit more polished up, and maybe refine the gameplay and go about it differently. And the storytelling, I think they dropped the ball on the what ifs, if you ask me. Some people liked them, but I definitely didn't. So yeah, 4 out of 10 is my final score. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this review, please leave a like and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on the game in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. Until next time, stay powered up.